Okay, welcome to AC Cactus Tack. Today we're going to have an unboxing of the VOTATU red dot system. So I'm really interested to break into this thing and see what it looks like. I was looking for a low cost red dot to put on the FN502. That's my wife's pistol, and I thought that she would get a little more enjoyment from shooting if she had a red dot, but she doesn't shoot all that often, and I wanted to keep my costs as low as possible, and so I was looking for a really inexpensive red dot system that could sort of get the job done and was reasonable in terms that would function, but I'm not looking for something to survive the next apocalypse. So we'll see what this can do. I'm interested to get inside this box as fast as possible, and we'll do that. We'll take a look at it in closer detail. We'll put it on the pistol, we'll take it to the range, and we'll see what we think. All right, so today, unboxing the VOTATU. All right, we're here for the unboxing of the VOTATU. This is the PMD504. Based on some top level specs, they've got a shake awake feature, so that's actually pretty cool. They claim parallax free and unlimited eye relief. We'll see about that. And fully multi-coated lens, aircraft aluminum housing. They have 10 daylight and nighttime brightness settings. And then they've got a battery tray, which I think is a side mount, so that's actually a plus. And they claim it to be waterproof. I'm not sure how far down it would go. I certainly wouldn't submit it to that test, but we'll get this thing unboxed and take it from there. Okay, so I mean, overall the packaging seems to be pretty nice. All right. And it looks like you've got a set of mounting screws here. Got a manual. It's short and concise. Okay. I think mine is just the red dot. It looks like they have an option for green. They claim here it's about a 2 MOA dot. One-time magnification. Okay, illumination. We talked about that. Okay, shockproof to 1,000 Gs. Windage and elevation. MOA click. Lens diameter 22 millimeter. Okay, waterproof down to 1 meter. All right, so pretty much standard stuff. I'll get this silica out of here. Got a battery that comes with it. And what's this? Okay, you've got some like mounting tools. All right, I think that's all that's in the box. All right, so there is some type of a shroud on this thing, like a protective shroud. Let's take that off. All right, overall, doesn't feel too bad. You got 2 screws that are mounting into this pick rail. I assume you take those off and mount it to your pistol using whatever mounting plates that you need. There's the right, left windage, and then you've got your elevation right on top there. Pretty clear field, nice screen. I will say that the overall feel is better quality than what I was expecting, to be honest. So this does feel good. So that aircraft aluminum housing, it does have a good feel. And again, the price here was around, I don't know, $120, $130 all in. So, you know, not too bad. All right, we'll get this mounted on a pistol and load it up with battery and see what we think. Okay, we got our 502. This is a safe and clear handgun. And just put on the safety. And all right, so we'll get these plates off here. I wonder if this thing would just mount in this cavity once this initial plate comes off. Probably not, but we'll see. All right. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to use a plate on that. So just sort of dry fit that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to use the FN screws that came with this and get that screwed in, put just a little more Loctite on it and get that in. But that looks and feels pretty good. I'll also get the battery put in there before we mount it. All right, we'll get this thing mounted up, see how it does. Try to adjust that a little bit. Okay, I'm using the screws that came with the FN. I'll get this one started. Okay, so I think there's a little bit of play with that FN. Maybe I'll try one of the screws that came with the VOTATU. I don't know, that's just a little too much gap there. Let me see if maybe try tightening it down just a nudge more, see if that goes in. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that can work. I'm going to try another screw just to see if I can get a better flush fit, but I'm nervous about really tightening this thing down. I don't want to break anything. So we'll back this one out. We'll try one of the screws that came with the VOTATU and see if that works a little bit better. Okay, I want to try the 5mm, and I think that's 11.0 in terms of the length. That looks more like the length that we need. We'll see if we get a nice lock up there. Okay, and another nice thing, just these, I don't know, little nice touches in this. They give you 3 screws, which is really nice. I don't know if that is going to even be long enough. Yeah, I'm like, well, let's see. I'm not even getting any bite in that. Nah, it's not even going. So it looks like the screw is a little too narrow. Yeah, it's definitely narrow. So I don't know anything about screws, to be honest. But I would say if this is a 5mm diameter, that's probably a 6mm diameter. Lengthwise, probably this one might work a little bit better, but we'll go back and we'll just use the FN. I mean, it was in there pretty solid. I was just hoping for more of a flush mount. You know, when it's biting into the screw holes here, there's just a little bit of elevation. So I was just hoping to get a little bit tighter fit on that. Okay, well, try this again. Yeah, that's about as far as I can get that in there. And you can see, I want to see if I can, you can see what I mean. Right, you can see that gap right there. I mean, it's in there pretty solid. It seems to be holding well. There's no looseness, but I was just hoping I can get more of a flush mount there. That's all. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll get the other one in. I mean, it is a 22. I don't know that it needs to be super tight. Okay, so I've got those in there pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just get a torque wrench. Hollow Sun says to do about 10 to 15 pounds. I have no idea on this. I'll see if I can reference anything, and if not, I think I'm just going to torque it down to that amount and call it good. Okay, we'll get the fat wrench out. If you guys do a lot of work on firearms, this thing is an invaluable little tool. It's like a little torque wrench, real easy to understand, and I can take it from my fix-it sticks, and it fits right in, no problem. You can see your values here. So that looks like it's set on 15. Just back it off a nudge, and we'll just sort of get in here and okay. So those are torqued down pretty good. There feels to be just a little bit of play. Yeah, just a nudge here. Let me see. I want to see, and again, I just want to be careful with this thing. I don't want it to snap off or anything. I don't, again, it's not the best quality here. Okay, that feels better. Let me just do just a touch more. Barely getting it in there. Okay, definitely want to witness mark these things, but I think that's as much as I want to push this mount. The 502 it's a plastic mount. It is $130 optic. I just don't want to push this thing too far, but this feels better. There's no wiggle room. The only thing that's moving a little bit is the slide, but this feels in there pretty solid. So there's the overall look. Clear. So the overall look, pretty good looking optic, honestly. Sort of a cool design. They've got some, cool little design features here. All in all, I really do like the look of it. There's nothing wrong with it. You can sort of see the reticle there. I don't think this reticle adjusts to the light. I think you have to manually adjust it. So it's not an auto sensing and sort of adjusting, but you can see it there. And, with the mounting plates that FN gives you with these things, so you got a nice sort of co-witness going on here. That's not too bad. So all in all, we'll see how this thing goes. I'm hoping that the added weight, although it is minimal, I did upgrade the internal spring and the guide rod here. I'm hoping that doesn't cause any issues. Again, I was having that little bit of a sluggish slide getting back into battery intermittently. So we'll see how it does with the optic. But all in all, pretty good. Optic looks good. No problem getting it mounted. Again, I'd just like to find a little more flush mount with the screws would be my only desire. But I think it is close enough for government work. We'll give it a shot. Okay, once I had the optic on the firearm, I went to the fire range just to sort of give it a feel, see what I liked and didn't like about it. Overall, came away pleasantly surprised with the performance of the optic. I found the sight easy to acquire, rather the red dot, pretty easy to acquire. There's a pretty large glass viewing space, so I didn't have any issue with that. The only thing that I did find is when I was zeroing the optic, it said that there was an one click equals one MOA of adjustment, and there was really no audible click or in terms of a tactile feel in terms of the change being notched into another detent or position. It was just sort of mush. So that was the only negative that I sort of walked away with. And I just tried, some different types of acquisition and how fast I could acquire the dot. Didn't have any issue. I don't think you'd notice any difference in performance. Here I went another day and tried it with a silencer. And again, everything worked great. The screws held tight. It held zero. And overall, really impressed with the performance of this optic. Okay, so in conclusion, where do I come out on this optic? The PMD504 from VOTATU. Again, it retails for around $120 to $130. Basically, I have to say my expectations were surpassed. I feel that the optic, the quality in terms of that price point, I felt was beyond my expectations. It's got this really nice aluminum housing. It's got a big display, field. overall, everything was really great. Again, the only issues for me is when I was zeroing it, I really didn't have a fine sort of feedback in terms of that click or that MOA per click. It was just sort of well, you just sort of turn the screw. So for whatever reason, I didn't feel that with this like you would on, say, a Hollow Sun or other more expensive optics. And again, the mounting. Again, this is still pretty solid here. I would just like these screws to be a little more flush mount. But I'm a little nervous about tightening them down even more because, again, this is sort of a plastic mounting bracket supplied by FN. And again, this is the FN502, Safe and Clear Firearm. Those are really the only two major deals here. The other thing is the I noticed that the reticle itself maybe not quite as clear as, say, a Hollow Sun, but nothing that would prevent you from using it. So that's sort of a nit that I have with this. All in all, I have really enjoyed the experience, and I think who is this for? It's really ideally for someone that is just looking to get a relatively inexpensive yet good quality optic to get the experience of a red dot. Maybe it's a first time user. Maybe you want to test it out on a firearm before getting something a little more expensive. Or like me, you sort of have a user on this particular firearm that's not really going to notice the difference whether it's a $500 optic or a $100 optic. And so in that case, to save a little bit of money, it was perfect. Or you've got a couple of other firearms that maybe you don't use that much, but you'd still like to have an optic on it, but you just again don't want to get up into that 200 plus sort of frame. You'd rather save that money and put it on a nicer optic on your firearms that you use on a more frequent basis. So again, everything is in context. So at this price point, I think for this quality, you certainly are getting your a dollar's worth. So again, thumbs up from me on the VOTATU. This is the PMD504. I don't think you'll be disappointed.